Hey, Algebra 2, I almost forgot about a trick here. Now, let's say you were factoring this thing up top, the red one. So remember, in order to get 6x squared, you only have two options there. It could either be a 3x and a 2x or a 6x and an x. So this is kind of how I would start this. Of course, this one's kind of tough because it's a minus. So, I mean, I know you'd have to do like plus minus and minus plus and same down here, but apart from that, there's a way to narrow down your search for these numbers, and here's how it goes. So you know how you might have a 1 and a 12 like this as one of your possibilities. You can actually rule this out, all right? And here's how I know that. So you see how this original up here, there's no greatest common factor. Like you can't divide them all by 2 or divide them all by 3. Well, if you look down here at this factor on the right, that 2x and that 12, I guarantee that you will never have that happen because, well, 2x and 12, they share a common factor, but this thing that it came from doesn't have a common factor. So you can rule out the 1 and 12 completely from this blue one up here. All right. So it might be, well, could it be? Could it be 12 and 1? No, it can't be because 3 and 12 have a common factor. So that tells me that I don't even have to look at the 1 and the 12 as far as searching for my factors here. All right, let's say we were doing 2 and 6. Same problem. If I put the 6 on the right-hand side, then I would have a 2 and a 6, and those have a common factor. Right. That tells me that like the 6 cannot go on the 2x side. All right, but maybe it's the other way around. Maybe it's a 6 and a 2. Well, you get double problems here. You can't have a 2x and a 2 because they have a common factor, and you can't have a 3x and a 6 for the same reason. All right, so that rules that out. You don't even have to do the whole, guess and check thing. Like we haven't even talked about the plus or minus signs yet. I guarantee it's not going to be any of those. So now you're left with a 3 and a 4 here. Well, it can't be a 3 and a 4 because of the common factor thing, 2 and 4. Maybe it's the other way around. Maybe it's a 4 here and a 3 here. Well, it turns out this is the only situation. This is the only situation that you would actually have to check. You would have to check the plus minus version, and you'd have to go back and check the other one, minus plus. All right. I hope that helps. Hopefully it helps rule some of those options out and narrow it down. And you stop the video here if you want. I'm going to go ahead and try the 6x and x and see if I can rule out some of these. Okay, so absolutely cannot have the 12 here. I can't have 12 and 1 this way because 6 and 12 have a common factor. All right, so maybe it's 1 and 12. All right, that is a possibility. 1 and 12 might actually happen. All right, because 6 and 1 don't have a common factor, and x and 12 don't have a common factor. If I were to look at the 2 and the 6, all right, you can't put a 2 here because they have a common factor. You can't put a 6 here because they have a common factor. So it's absolutely not the 2 and the 6. All right, 3 and 4. You can't have a 3 and a 4 in this combo because 3 and 6 have a common factor. And you can't have a 4 and a 3 for the same reasons. All right, 6 and 4, they have a common factor of 2. All right, so that's the reason I wanted y'all to always check and make sure this thing doesn't have a greatest common factor to pull out first. If it does have a GCF, you need to do that first. You need to simplify the entire problem by factoring that out. So using this trick, I now know that it's got to be if it is going to work out at all, it's got to be a 1 in that first position and a 12 in that second position. Let me go ahead and figure out the plus and minus. We'll complete this video. Plus minus, So on the outers, you'd get a, what is that? A negative 9. Yeah, here, I'll write it in there. All right, 3x times negative 3 is negative 9. And 4 times 2 would be positive 8. Yeah, that's the answer. Yeah, this 3x plus 4 and 2x minus 3, that's the one that solves that problem.